Hey, welcome to another video. Now, if you didn't catch me announce this in a previous video, basically what I'm doing here is recording a series of videos for training that I had put together with the intention to sell. Now, I decided to not sell it and I'm just delivering it out there to you guys for free because I think it's going to be really valuable to you and I really enjoy helping people. Now, if you do find this valuable and you're looking to take your business to the next step, we do have the Agency Alchemist program, which is designed to help you get from nothing to six figures, or more importantly, building the confidence to start selling websites for at least $2,500. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is something super interesting, and this is something that helped me, my business, and my positioning, my mindset, everything. It's something that I learned about 18 months ago when I was going through the Affluent Academy training program, and it's called New Era Agency. Now, this is great because it allows you to think about your positioning and how others perceive you and how others see you and what you essentially offer, the service that you offer and things like that. Now, we're in a modern world. You don't necessarily have to have a brick and mortar business. You can position yourself as an agency and work fully remote. Okay, you can do this where you're not positioning yourself as a freelancer and being undervalued. You still can have the credibility and things like that as an agency, but kind of work behind the scenes as a bit of a freelancer. It's kind of like building a hybrid. Now, it is called New Era Agency, and I'm going to share my screen in a minute and we're going to talk you through, I'm just going to talk you through a couple of slides and just show you exactly what it is that I mean and how we can actually build the best of both worlds and position your business and your agency in a place that is just going to do you justice and allow you to start selling much more websites at a higher price. So let's go. Okay, so New Era Agency. So there are a few important things that separate web design agencies and freelancers, and we're going to be talking about those now. So let's have a look at what a traditional web agency looks like. Okay, so a traditional web agency has its cons and it has its pros, okay? But typically the cons stem from large overheads. All right, so they have to pay for their office, they have to pay for equipment, they have startup costs, equipment again. So already they're having to invest a lot of money to build this physical traditional web agency. They have physical employees and a team, so they've got commitments in that respect. They tend to be seen as not very personal when you compare them to the likes of a freelancer. And if you're running a traditional web agency, you have far less freedom than an individual person would. Now let's have a look at the pros. Now the pros are traditional web agencies are seen and deemed as much more credible when compared to a freelancer. They're seen as dependable and they're seen as scalable. All right, so let's then have a look at freelancer. Now this is kind of pretty much the opposite to the traditional web agency, but I'm going to talk you through it anyway, and then we're going to see how you can build a hybrid model from this and just build something that's so incredible. So let's have a look at freelancer. So freelancers tend to be less credible because they're just one person, they are an individual, and they don't kind of have the brand and establishment backing that a traditional web agency does. They tend to be less dependable because they're just one person. They don't have a team of people working on projects, so time is of the essence, and they're less scalable. Again, they're just one individual person. They're charging money for time. Okay, so you only have so many hours in a day that you can bill for. Okay, so it's far less scalable. Now, there are a few pros with being a freelancer. There's no startup costs. I mean, essentially you just need a laptop. There's little to no overheads. There's no team, okay, because it's just you. It's personal because you deal directly with the client. They're not going through an account manager and things like that. A business is not going through an account manager, shall I say. Because it is just you, there is much more freedom. You could live a laptop lifestyle if you want to. Okay, so you can see both the traditional web agency and the freelancer both have their pros and cons, okay? So how do we pull in the best of both worlds? How can we take what's great from being a freelancer and what's great from having a traditional web agency and build something that encompasses both? The New Era Web Design Agency has no startup costs, okay, because you're still working in kind of like a freelancer setting. You just need your laptop, okay, so you can still live that laptop lifestyle. There's little to no overheads. You use a contracted team, okay, this one is so important. You use a contracted team of people that you can depend on that are not employed, so you're not having to pay them a salary every month. You don't have that overhead and that dependency. but you build a reliable team of remote workers. That they could be in your country, they could be in another country. You just need to find someone that's dependable and is able to do your work at a high quality. Now, this is also attractive because you can now reach out and work with some of the best people in the world. Right? And if they are working with you on a remote basis, they're going to be business owners too. They're going to be self-employed. So they're going to want to work harder for you so they keep you coming back. All right. If they're working harder for you, that means that you're delivering a much higher quality of work, and therefore your client's going to be happy and they're going to keep coming back to you. Okay. So you can kind of see that circle. New Era Web Design Agency is also personal. All right, so you are still in a position where you're speaking directly to the business owner. Okay, you being the director of your business, the owner of the agency, you still have that personal touch. You still manage to speak to all your customers. Okay, but you're just not fulfilling the work. That's your remote team. Okay, so you have the time to do the outreach, the sales calls, the communication. It's still a lot more personal than the traditional web agency business model. You have more freedom, okay, because you can travel, you can work on your own terms. You're seen as credible because you're positioning yourself as a typical traditional web agency. You're positioning yourself as an agency, so already you are subjectively or subconsciously, shall I say, seen as more credible. You're also seen as dependable because, again, you have this sort of agency presence. You have a sort of air quotes team, albeit remote contracted team. You still have a team, and therefore you're seen as more dependable. And you're scalable. Okay, remember, you haven't got all these overheads. You haven't got to pay for desks and equipment and buildings. So you're scalable. If you've got projects coming in, you can easily find a second contractor and a third contractor and a fourth and a fifth. You could increase your service offering. So for example, in our agency, we started off offering web design, and we tried offering Facebook ads and Google ads, but we've now sort of specialized in web design and search engine optimization. Okay, so when our service offering changes, or if we expand our service offering portfolio, we just have to work to find a new contractor that can work with us on a personal basis. So guys, hopefully you found that training valuable. As I said, I come across this around 18 months ago. It's been an absolute game changer for me in the sense of how I position myself. Since positioning myself as an agency, it's been way more beneficial for me. I've booked more meetings, I've had more conversations, it's been easier to talk to business owners, signed up more clients, etc., etc. When I compare that to when I was positioning myself as a freelancer. When I was a freelancer, I felt like I struggled. It felt hard, okay? But this New Era agency has allowed me to sort of position myself as a professional, established web agency. But behind the scenes, I'm using contractors to fulfill work that I'm not able to fulfill. I'm using virtual assistants to undergo tasks that I don't want to be doing on a daily basis. But the person currently at the moment steering the ship is actually just myself. So hopefully you found this valuable, and you're going to understand how you can position yourself to get the best out of both worlds and start building yourself a very successful web design agency. Now, if you haven't done so already, please do hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Hit the bell notification too, and you'll see the other training videos that we've got within this series coming out. Let me know down in the comments what you're positioning yourself as. Are you a freelancer? Are you an agency? Are you at the New Era agency that I've spoken about? Let me know in the comments. There is an end screen coming up as well. There'll be more videos on there that is beneficial for you, so make sure you go and check that out. But that is all for today, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.